Hello, YouTubers. My name is X Factor. Welcome to some Battlefield 4 Goldman Railway Conquest Size Large, where I'm going to spend all my time in the attack jet. Something I've been working on is my jet gameplay. Something I was absolutely awful with in Battlefield 3 and horrible with in Battlefield 4 until I started working on it. I've been working on the basics, the mechanics, watching my speed through the loops, through the turns, prioritizing the targets. It's not much different than being a tanker. You need to know what to take out and when to avoid the hot spots, when to get to safety to build up your defensive, basically, mechanic, whether it's the flares, the ECM, or APS, and knowing when to strike and what to strike. It's all about the angles and the prioritization. It's something I've known for a long time, but I just haven't been able to execute things because I'm just a shitty pilot after all. At the end of the day, the attack jet is the king of the skies. It is the thing I fear most, whether I'm in an attack boat or I'm in a tank. In a tank, you're pretty much useless unless they give you a good strafe, a lucky low strafe, and usually you can put a shell in their face to remind them you probably shouldn't do that. In an attack boat, you can TV missile. Well, what happens if your TV missile's down? You better hope that APS is up, and then they're just going to come back around and dome you again if that TV missile isn't up. And most of the top attack jets in the game, they give a little wiggle. They start to strafe, they wiggle off path, and they come back on path, and they just pick at you until you're out of TV missiles. The problem is, it's about paper, rock, scissors. If the enemy team has the good jets, your helicopters are going to get pwned. And then all your armor is going to get pwned because their helicopters and their jets are up. So every minute and a half, as long as the server is stock respawn times, that's when you have to worry about their attack jet and their stealth jet. If they're both down, you have lay of the land. As much balancing needs to be done when it comes to shoulder-fired AA and, of course, the active radar missiles in the MAA. You still have time to strafe in, ECM, and get out with more than likely a little bit of damage. And if it's not classic mode, you have auto regen. I've showcased some footage on my channel before when I went kind of on a run with an attack jet playing classic mode at 35 health for the majority of the round. It almost went flawless. So now all I have to do is go back to my base, my uncap, and just circle around up high where the base AA is so strong. It just rips people. And I've used it time to time to bait their attack jet in to finish the job, especially if we're doing loop-de-loops and back and forth, and I simply can't get behind him because if he's mastered the speed game, I'm not going to do it because I still have little fluctuations, and that's what I'm working on right now. Doing my loops properly when I'm gaining speed while trying to loop, and then as I'm descending, try to lose that speed and try to keep it around that perfect speed. I think most of you guys say it's around 305 to 310 or so, maybe a touch higher, and that's what I try to manage. The thing is, in CTE, the HUD is so much brighter than vanilla right now. It's really hard to see your speed. Really hard still. And sometimes I think I've got that perfect speed, then I kind of squint in at that magic number. It's like, oh shit, I'm simply going too fast. This thing, unchecked, is brutal. In this round, I destroy 33 different vehicles. That's absolutely insane in this time period. It's not something I could have easily done with a tank. It's not something I could have done with an attack boat. But with the attack jet, the primary gun just destroys people. And I've been using the JDAMs as well, picking up a couple infantry kills here and there. And if they don't have APS, they're simply done on a single strafe. Now, I gave him a favor. I came in low. He had a shot because I've been trying to dodge the shoulder-mounted AA from infantry. Then, of course, the MAA that the enemy team possesses. And that's something that I've done on a couple different maps as I mix up the angles. I know the deep, steep strafe is the way to go on tanks, but that also gives their helicopters time to line up on you. Then, of course, you can't get to the basically topography of the map to use that to break a lock or two that I've done before on this map. I really like being an attack jet on Goldman Railway because there are some features that you can get behind, and there is a JDAM kill. It's not a triple, but it's a single. I'll take it. And right now, we're really struggling as a team. We've dominated the air so far in this game, and we just don't have the caps to show it. I've been on the receiving end of that, where the enemy team has the stud jets, the stud helicopters, but yet we've got the majority of the caps. It's not enough for you to have one aspect of the game down. You've got to have more than that, and I'm trying to get out of the way of the ram, and I simply could not. I highly doubt he tried to ram me, but he was coming out of a spin, looked like he'd lost control because of the mobility hit, and that's how we ended that streak right there. At the end of the day, it's all about the tanks and the infantry capping points, because that's how you win Conquest. The jet's not going to be able to cap a point. Might be able to fly through and give you a little bit of a man advantage for a split second, but that's about it. It's up to the tanks, the helicopters, and the infantry. Your jet can greatly help your infantry, because as soon as I got the jets down, I was all about keeping the tanks at bay, and I would single out the tanks pushing points. The ones back in the middle of nowhere, I would only kill if I couldn't find a target or if it was mid a strafe that I was making. But for the most part, I was killing those tanks that were PTFOing. So hats off to the enemy team who kept this game close, because we absolutely dominated the air fashion of this game. They had some pretty good helicopter pilots. I did have to go up vertically a couple times. That's probably the best way to break those helicopter locks, because if you go up straight, they have to look all the way back, and what's their helicopter doing? Falling towards the ground very quickly. Sometimes they can still get that lock depending on how high they are in the air, but usually that's enough to break your lock, let alone ECM and go back and wait for that ECM to pop back up. I really enjoy flying jets. I'm starting to get a little bit better, and I know there's a lot of different things I need to do. I still need to perfect my speed. I need to be able to scissor better. There's a lot of different maneuvers I need to be able to work on, but I think just like tanking, it's primary about position and, of course, target prioritization. What can hurt your team the worst? Their jets, because again, it's really like a game of paper, rock, scissors. Their jets are up, more than likely their helicopters are up, and your armor is absolutely getting pounded. If you can stop that from happening, your team has a really good chance. But if they're doing the pounding a la paper, rock, scissor, you're probably going to regret life as an infantry, because you're being bombarded by helicopters, whether it's TV missiles or straight from the heli's primaries, or all the infantry overrunning you. Because think about what you had to do if you're infantry to take out the air. You have to have shoulder-mounted AA. Well, what don't you have in your hand? You don't have your primary or your pistol. Now, you get caught around the corner with infantry rushing you. It's a massive advantage to have the air. It's very reminiscent of Battlefield 3, where we used to call it jet rape. If they had a stud jet or two, they owned the skies and could do whatever they wanted. And here's an absolute fail. I lost too much speed trying to play peekaboo with the AA who was picking at me the last couple minutes. I thought I snuck up on him, but I simply did not. As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know if you want to see more jet factor. It's a little less fail factor, a little more jet factor. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys soon.